Welcome back to the kitchen at Andersen Acres. We are going to make something easy and fun today. Today we are going to make meringue buttons. These tiny little things are delightful on their own or as a garnish for other desserts. So you can use them to decorate cakes and they are fully edible because they're just meringue. Try placing them on the top of your cakes or your cupcakes or using them on top of cookies. You can either make them larger or smaller than I'm going to make them, if you wish, depending on what exactly you intend to do with them. So this is easy, okay? I'm just going to reorient the mixer here. This is easy, okay? No problems. It takes 3 ingredients, 4 if you want to top them with cocoa powder after they're baked. But right now, we are going to preheat the oven to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? Then you want to have a cookie sheet with either a wax paper liner, not a wax paper, parchment paper liner, or a silicone liner, okay? I'm using a silicone liner. You can use parchment paper. Do not use wax paper. It smokes in the oven. So parchment paper or the silicone liner. Also don't use foil. It'll stick to the meringue, okay? Again, parchment paper or a silicone liner. So, in a small bowl, we need some egg whites. I already have 1 egg white in there. We are going to smash a second egg. I crack them in a separate bowl because I'm really bad at cracking eggs. Like, I'm terrible at it. I'm throwing this. Get rid of that eggshell. But I am terrible at this. So then you need to separate your whites and your yolks. And I have a separate bowl here. So you want to get your whites off. You don't want any yolk in it. And yeah, I just use my hand to separate because I find it a lot faster. If I'm doing lots, like a ton of egg white, then I use my vegetable chopper has actually an egg white separator attachment. So I'll use that. Otherwise, I don't. It's really easy to just do it with your hands. Okay, now save your egg yolks. You can make a bread with them or something. So put those in there. We are going to drop this down, and then we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. Is it strictly necessary? No. However, this is a big however, it stabilizes your egg whites, okay? Makes your life a heck of a lot easier. So I would definitely recommend it. So we are going to beat these at about a medium speed, not super high speed, but medium. And we're going to do that until soft peaks form, okay? So around a medium speed, not your top speed, till soft peaks form. We're going to speed this part up because depending on your mixer, it can take a couple minutes. All right, so that's a soft peak. So it's not a firm peak, but it's kind of foamy and it stays kind of peaked. It does eventually flop over. Okay, so now we're going to drop the mixer again and we are going to start dissolving some sugar. So in this case, this is 1/2 cup of sugar. We are going to slowly add it so it dissolves in these egg whites. And what we want next is a stiffer peak, okay? It can still be a slightly soft peak, but what you want is a little bit of stiffness, so more than this, okay? So we want it stiffer than that. We want it so it doesn't drip off your spoon, okay? That's the goal, and we're going to dissolve sugar as we go. So again, I'm going to time lapse because otherwise this is going to be really boring. But you want to move to your top speed on your mixer now. All right, what you're looking for is something stiffer than before and glossy, okay? So that's what you're looking for. How glossy is it? So that's not bad for glossy. I'm still going to let it run a couple more minutes. And what you want is, do the peaks hold their form? Okay? Do peaks hold their form? So the way to check that, is first of all, scrape off your thing, is to take your whisk and dip your whisk into here. Kind of take your whisk, move it around the bowl, and pull. That flops over, but that's not a bad peak, actually. I might use that. Actually, I might use that. So you pull it up. That's not bad at all. I might run it for a couple more minutes, but it's really close to what I like. So I think I'll just run it a couple more minutes, and otherwise it's pretty good. So I'm going to run it a little bit more, not a lot. There, it really didn't need much. That is pretty good. So now you're going to want to get all of this, all your goo. It is like goo. It's meringue, but it's like goo. So it's kind of goo. But you want to get all of that, or as much as you can, out of your beater. Okay? And then we're going to get rid of our beater. And we're going to keep our bowl, but we are going to get rid of the mixer. We won't need it again. Okay, so let's just put the mixer over here for now, out of camera shot. And here is our meringue. Okay, that's our meringue. It's looking pretty good. I am just going to turn on a light so you can see that a little bit better. See, it's nice and glossy. That's what you need. You need that dissolved so that it is glossy. I'm just going to grab myself a taller glass here. There's a really easy way to fill your piping bag, because now we have to fill our piping bag. So the best way to fill our piping bag is, just adjust here, take a glass, a clean glass, pop your icing bag in there, fold it down, okay? Fold it down. Make sure your bag is open all to the inside. And then what you're going to do is we are just going to take our meringue. And yes, these are reusable silicone bags. I like them because I never run out of bags. All I have to do is wash them. The disposable ones are annoying. Now remember, meringue's a little bit sticky. So it's supposed to be. So if it seems like it's sticky and uncooperative, it is. It's supposed to be like that. If your meringue is too cooperative, you didn't whip it enough. So we're just going to get our meringue in there. And how many buttons you're going to get out of this depends on really you. Like, did you decide to make them tiny? Did you decide to make them bigger? So I'm going to kind of do a medium small one. Okay? Now you need your baking pan. Okay? This is easy. Like I said, this is easy. Baking pan. We're going to take our meringue. Okay? Get rid of the cup. We don't need it anymore. We're going to squeeze our meringue to the bottom. And notice it starts coming out. And then we are going to twist at the top. And then we are just going to go pipe, pipe, pipe. And you can do this with a flat tip or really any tip you like. Any tip you enjoy out of your set. You can also use a spoon. Right? You could use a spoon. That one didn't come out nicely. That's because I'm doing it one-handed and I shouldn't. But you can use a spoon as well if you like. And you can make them larger. You can make them whatever you like. Now your oven should be preheated to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I know that doesn't sound very hot, and it isn't. Okay? It's not hot. But meringues can't be cooked at hot temperatures. Okay? If they're cooked at hot temperatures, all they do is scorch. I'm going to add a bunch more in here. These also don't spread. Okay? They do not spread, so you don't have to worry that your meringues might take over your pan. Okay? So we are just going to squeeze out as much of this as we can. And so you can see how you could get an entirely different number of meringues than I do. And that's just because of how big you make them. Okay? I could do them quite a bit smaller. Like if I was doing cake decorating, I would probably make them smaller because I would want like small little nubs. But if you're doing larger, you kind of want desserts, then you might do that. So it's really up to you. And that's about it. That's all I've got in there. So we're going to pop that in the oven at 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to leave them for between 45 and 60 minutes. So smaller ones like this will probably be done in 45 to 50 minutes. If you did a larger size, you're going to be looking at about 60 minutes. So keep an eye. When they start to turn brown around the edges, they're done. You don't want them brown on the top. Okay, that's too cooked. So keep an eye on them. Get them in the oven. Don't wander off. Okay, because we do not want these. We do not want these to overcook. Overcooking meringues is the kiss of death. So we're going to pop them in the oven. We will check them at 45 minutes, and then I'm just going to let them cook till the edges start to turn brown. After that, they've got to come out. So we will come back just as soon as I'm ready to whip them out of the oven, because there's still a couple more steps. All right, my timer just went off, so I'm going to pull these out and pop them over here. Now, the pan is not overly hot because it's only at 200 degrees Fahrenheit, but they should be kind of firm, okay? So I'm going to set a 2-minute timer because they do need to set. So we're going to do a 2-minute timer. And while that 2-minute timer is running, we are going to add some cocoa powder. So I'm just going to put a little bit of cocoa powder in here and just tap the sides. Just as much as you like, right? There's nothing wrong with cocoa powder. You can do a bigger amount, a lesser amount, it doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. Okay? But you don't have to do cocoa powder. You can do just plain, you could do vanilla sugar, do whatever you like, really. Whatever you enjoy. There we go. And when our 2-minute timer is up, we are going to use a thin spatula. I'm just using this guy. You can probably pick them up, to be honest. Like, you can probably just pick them up. And you see the bottoms should be very lightly browned. Okay? So the bottoms should have a light browning. Very light browning. Okay? But you can probably just pick them up, but have a spatula at the ready in case you have trouble anyway. And then we want to let these cool completely. Okay, they're not ready to eat. They're not done inside until they have cooled completely. They are delicious little bubbles of sugary goodness. But you got to let them cool. So we're going to start pulling them off because it's about 10 seconds left. So we're just going to start gently pulling them off. Remember to use a spatula if you're having trouble. Okay? If you used tin foil, there it goes. If you used tin foil by accident, your cookies are probably stuck. Okay? Don't use tin foil. So we're just going to pop them on here. Let them cool completely, which honestly doesn't take that long. Then we will come back and give them a taste. because I really enjoy these. So I'm just going to finish putting them on here, and we will see you in a couple minutes. And there we go. Delicate, delicious meringue buttons. These are really easy to make. They're so much fun. And frankly, you grab one, you break them open, and you'll see they are gentle and delicate in the middle. They're absolutely perfect. And they're really good. Yeah, those are really good. My dog wants some. She likes sugar. She's pregnant. We're just going to go with it. Did you have my cookie? Yeah, you did. Anyway, if you're going to store these, do not store them covered. Okay? You can cover them lightly just to keep, the flies off and stuff, but don't store them in an airtight container because they will turn soft and mushy. You want to let them stay exposed to the air so they're nice and dry. That's about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. I hope you enjoyed making meringue buttons with us. Drop a comment below and let me know how it went. We'll see you tomorrow.